Usary playing no Bant. This is a deck that you know it's a Bant deck from the green, white, blue from Shards of Alara, featuring those colors. Of course, also with the card Natural Order.
Yeah, and on the left we have Rocky the Moose.
You got to bring out the horns for something like this. He's playing Reanimator, and he is able to reanimate large creatures very quickly. You want your Ionas, your Elishnorns, your Inkwall Leviathans. He's the man for the job. You can pull something out as quickly as turn 2, and he's not afraid to do it if necessary.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great match.
Yeah,
I don't think his hat matches his shirt, though.
Nah, nothing wrong with a little excitement in your wardrobe.
And I do like how Marsh's shirt matches the background.
That is actually really awesome.
And is like his color too.
That's why he chose him for that side.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty incredible. It fades right in. It's like one of those pictures, you know, where like someone's standing still and there's like part of the background or whatever. Pretty neat. So the players cut each other's decks. Marsh says, "I trust you. I'll just give you a cut." And players shake hands, and here we go.
We are ready for the first turn of the semifinals. It's pretty exciting. We were going to go with a playmat, but nope, not anymore.
Chris Walton actually just wanted to show off his Source playmat. One of the last Legacy Open champions, I was there with Ryan Kibler, also from the Source, a dedicated Legacy Magic's website out there. Looks like Chris Walton, another Source dedicated player. We'll see if the Source can capture 2 Legacy Opens in a row. That's pretty exciting for their site. All right, players rolling. I've been told on Twitter people want to see Chris Walton. Apparently he's a pretty good player, knows what he's doing, and Reanimator is a very strong archetype.
He's a very good person at pumping the fists.
If I were playing this archetype, or if I was playing in Legacy, I'd probably be playing something like Reanimator or Storm just because of its raw power right now. And I think Chris Walton is right to choose this deck. This is kind of like a Storm deck, except it beats the Storm decks, which is insane. Ari Lax said he did not want to play against Chris Walton. So here we go. Looks like Chris won the dice roll, and Chris is going to keep. Marsh looking at his hand. And Marsh is also going to keep, so here we go.
All right, turn 1 for Chris. We're going to see Island into a Careful Study.
Draw 2, discard 2, load up the graveyard with all kinds of nice little graveyard shenanigans.
How sweet would Careful Study be in Standard right now?
Pretty good, yeah. Maybe. It'd be interesting. So anyway, he discards Animate Dead. And when your opponent discards Animate Dead and Iona off their Careful Study, you know that's bad news, right?
Something's happening next turn.
Chris's hand, I see another Animate Dead and a Reanimate. So I think we're going to see an Iona very quickly here from Chris Walton. And if he's got a Force to back it up, too, that's just unbelievable.
He has Force plus blue card?
He has Force in his hand. If he has another blue card, he can back it up.
Yeah, that's...
Turn 2 Iona with Force backup, why not, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it comes into play, what color do you name?
White.
So it can't be Path, Swords.
So it can't be Swords. And it's going to kill before J sets play.
And plus you still have Force.
And you have Force,
yeah. Thoughtseize, you have other ways to interact in your deck that you could draw. Alright. So there's... Marsh...
counting his hand.
Yeah, just making sure Chris has the right number of cards. And here comes Animate Dead. Or Exhume, rather. Even better.
Yeah, Exhume.
Don't... Oh, just goes for Reanimate.
Doesn't want to get... Does Marsh have Spell Pierce? Oh, he doesn't want to get dazed.
Oh, good call, good call. Alright, Marsh is going to brainstorm in response. See if he can find an answer. And deliberately draws his cards before we go putting 2 back.
Alright, trying to figure out, I mean, we don't know if he has the counterspell for the Reanimate yet.
Alright, let's see if he has Force. Did he find it? If he found it, I'd recommend playing it.
Seems like the optimal play. Alright, no, it resolves.
So Iona comes into play. I imagine he's going to name White.
Yeah.
And it's not good for Marsh.
No, it is not. Alright, Windswept Heath comes down from Marsh. See if he finds any way to get a board presence and try to deal with this Iona. Iona is a 3-turn clock for Marsh right now.
Tashism on Twitter points out Chris Walton should be qualified for Worlds on rating after this tournament. He's 52nd in the States on rating right now, and that's before this tournament.
I think the cutoff's already happened.
I think isn't it next week?
I don't know when the cutoff is.
I think it's the.
I've heard so many different things.
I think it's the first week in October.
It's the first week in October.
Which would be next week. I'm not sure. Like I haven't been looking at it. It might have already happened, but I think it's next week.
I actually don't know. Someone please tell me, because I do not know. My brother was going to skip states because last year he qualified for Worlds through states, so I assumed that it would be after states. So, but then I heard it already happened today, and I actually don't know. Didn't look it up yet.
Fair enough. Well, it may have already happened.
I will find out.
But regardless, Chris Walton is 52nd in the country. Not too shabby.
No. I'm not even close to 52nd right now with rating. All right, Tarmogoyf comes down.
All right. Chris going to go for days, floating a blue mana. Just everything this game.
Yeah.
Turn 2 Iona, daze it, and have Force in my hand. He doesn't have a blue card yet, but... Wow.
What is Marsh thinking of doing with this?
Well, I mean, I think Marsh. We just saw Marsh be a very deliberate player in the games we saw earlier. Even when he had a pretty obvious decision, he made sure to take his time just to double check he did everything correctly. So I imagine it's just kind of a thing where he's just going to think
sure
about everything.
Runs everything through his head one more time.
I believe his board position earlier was Progenitus, who was Ollie Pride Mage, Meddling Mage. His opponent had no creatures, and he's thought before attack.
Yeah.
So. Let's see. Iona crashes in, chopping Marsh's life total even lower. Oh dear. See if Marsh can find anything to even the score. I don't have Deckless in front of me, but I would imagine Marsh doesn't have any answers except for Jace. And if Chris can force a Jace, then that should take care of that. I don't think Chris has a second blue card, though. We'll see what happens. Marsh taking his time to think about his play. Chris says, did you say go? Yes, he said go.
Says go, draws.
All right, not a blue card.
So he does not have the blue card for Force.
He did not have the blue card for Force.
I think letting the Tarmogoyf live wouldn't be bad then.
Yeah, I think you want to keep the days to be able to Force.
Yeah, because now if Jace comes down, it's really bad for him.
And after graduate, it looks like Vanilla Click hits the table anyway, which would have stripped away Chris's Force. But at least he would still have the days to hit a Jace.
All right, well, this is resolving. I just want to say one real quick thing. An old trios partner of mine a long time ago was asking me for a shout-out. So, Joey Menzel, what's up? Sorry I have to do this for all the other people watching, but I got to give an old friend the shout-out he wanted. All right, back to the game.
Michael Sachs says the rating cutoff happened on September 21st.
Yeah, that's what I heard, too. So, I think the cutoff's already done.
Still, like I said, 52nd in the country.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Oh, he's shipping his own natural
order. He's going to click target himself. Okay, yeah. So he ships natural order, picks up a new card. Marsh desperately searching for an answer to that Iona. And then Vanilla Click will jump block the Iona. And there comes Windswept Heath. So Marsh has access to 4 lands.
Yeah, he's going to try to play Jace.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got Jace in his hand for sure, but if he does, this would certainly be the time to play it. And you bounce out Iona, stay stable at 12 life. Let's see if he has it. He's cracking his 4th land, so I imagine he probably is going to couch.
Oh, I guess you do have to force or daze that Goyf, because you still have a couple turns to draw blue cards, and because Chris is at 10.
From the reanimate, right? Yeah, I mean
that actually will race the Iona.
Oh man. Well, Marsh down to 11. Yeah, if this is a Jace here, game's gonna take a little longer. Not gonna be a quick blowout. If this is a Jace.
Well, if this is a Jace and he bounces Iona, it will be a blowout.
Oh, Green Sun Zenith for 3.
All right, that is not Jace. That is a Knight of the Reliquary.
Right. Knight's still good, but
not that good.
Not gonna be able to beat Iona. Tricky way of getting a white card into play. And Marsh shuffles. and it's just going to pass back. Then Iona's going to crash in, and Marsh is going to have one more turn to deal with it. Oh, I bet Marsh has Caracas in his deck, so the knight can find a Caracas and bounce the Iona.
There is a Caracas in his deck.
Yeah, so that's Marsh's answer.
Yeah, he's going to go down to 8, or he's going to go down to 4, sorry.
Yep, but then he's going to get Caracas.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be pretty rough for Chris Walton after that.
Yeah, it is. Then not only is knight going to be in play and have pressure.
Yeah, it'll be knight in play plus Iona in your hand. Chris has like Exhume and a couple other cards, but he's not going to be able to, get the Iona into his graveyard. Even if he could, it could just be bouncing into the Caracas. So he'd have to draw like Inkwell Leviathan or something, get that into his graveyard somehow. Chris has not drawn a lot of gas after his insane draw, but all right. So Vendilion Clique first. I think he wants to clear the way.
Yeah, wants to make sure everything's okay.
And I imagine he's going to target Chris this time.
Yeah.
All right. Choose a hand of Angel of the Despair, Verdant Catacombs, Force of Will, Exhume. And you just let him have him, right?
Yeah, you keep it all in his hand.
And Marsh writing everything down, once again diligently. Whenever you reveal your opponent's hand, you should always write down whatever they have there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because you want to make sure that you can cross off what they draw. And even the basic lands. I see a lot of players who just don't write the lands down. And write down the basic lands. If you want to get technical, you write down the basic land numbers or what it looks like so that when they play that basic land, you know.
I had an old friend, somebody back in the day that taught me how to play sealed, right when I was starting, a guy from Fargo. And he even was to the point where he would draw the mountains that his opponent had in his hand. He would just like make little sketches.
Sure. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Some people take down the card number, but sketches work too, yeah. And, all right, so that click comes down. Marsh sees the coast is clear, and now I imagine Caracas is going to bounce that Iona.
Yeah. All right, targets Iona. Chris thinks for a second. He's like, so close, one turn.
Yes, so Chris has Marsh all the way down to 4, but not quite going to do the trick. Chris does have Animate Dead in his hand. Well,
oh, it has not happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's about to happen. Going to get Caracas.
Yeah.
Chris drew Animate Dead, but all he has is a bunch of reanimation spells. Nothing to reanimate that can deal that last 4 points of damage. And is that lethal from Marsh Usary?
1, 2...
Oh, well, no, actually, so Chris can animate Dead Marsh's Vendilion Clique.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll trade them off, and Chris can cycle a card. Yeah, there we go. And animate Dead on your creature.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he could get Tarmogoyf, but I imagine he's going to get Vendilion Clique.
Yeah, Vendilion Clique is the same clock.
And you get Chris to draw a card,
yeah,
too.
And you get a draw card.
You get to cycle a card away, which is huge.
Try to get that Angel of Despair in the graveyard to blow up the knight.
And looks like Marsh and Chris are talking about exactly what's going on with that Animate Dead.
I like how Animate Dead brings it back, and it's going to die because of the negative counter, but it still pulls the other legendary Vendilion Clique with it.
Alright, so... Looks like someone snapped away from the game. I can't quite tell what's going on now. Is there some kind of ruling taking place, or?
I do not know. I think Chris looks like he's in the tank.
They're looking up Oracle text for Animate Dead, which is quite long and intensive. I'll bring it up if you guys want to hear what Animate Dead says. Oh, no, it looks like they're going to continue. All right, I will not bore you with the intricacies of Animate Dead.
All right, so he did take the Tarmogoyf.
All right, so he takes the Tarmogoyf. The board part knows it gets -1, -0, which is relevant.
And then he taps 2 for Exhume. So, okay, he's going to Exhume and force the Vendilion Cliques to Legend. That's an awesome play.
Oh, wow, that's a really tight play by Chris
Goyf.
Walton. Take the Goyf and then, force the Cliques to blow each other up. That is an excellent play by Chris Walton.
Yeah, I like
I
it a lot.
didn't even see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
You force him to bring back the click. That is really, really good. And how big is that
It
Tarmogoyf?
must be a force. Oh, he's gonna daze it.
Daze, okay.
The Goyf looks to be a 3/4 because of the animate dead.
Well, -2, -1, minus an extra on the power.
Huh?
It's just minus on the power.
Oh, okay. So it would be
A 2/4 then.
Yeah, it would be a 2/4.
So we have sorcery, instant, land, creature.
No, it would be a 3. It should be 4, right? Sorcery, creature, land, instant.
Yeah, that should be 4.
So yeah,
it shows it should be a 3/5. Okay. Yeah, animate did randomly negs the power. So
I thought it was -1, -1.
nope. Just the power. Why not? All right. So Marsh looking to serve. See if that Vanilli click is going to get in there or not. I imagine it will.
1, 2,
He just
3.
wants to start chopping Chris's life total.
Yeah, he cannot attack with the knight, because if he attacks, he can put Chris down to 1, and if Chris can get a different type into the graveyard, I don't know if Chris has the ability to do that, but if he can kill Marsh.
He's got careful study in his deck, and he could.
But he would have to get like a planeswalker, an artifact, an enchantment, something on those lines.
Yeah, enchantment, so there's like animate dead. He could like careful study and animate dead, or careful study and Inkwell Leviathan, or draw it into him for Inkwell Leviathan.
Oh yeah, there are outs. Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways he could do it.
Well, he's green sun's anything now, so.
Or his Zenith
for Pride Mage.
Oh, Pride Mage.
Pride Mage is going to
blow
kill
up that animate dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, now Chris is in pretty bad shape. All right, so Zenith resolves, and now that Pride Mage is going to blow up animate dead, and now I'm not sure how Chris comes back from this. Now, he's been playing really well. If there's a way to come back from it, I'm sure he's going to find it. But, oh. Yeah, that I'm still really impressed by that Exhume play.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
And it didn't resolve, but I thought it was really good. All right. So, that kills the Tarmogoyf, and now Marsh is going to crash in and drop Chris to leave dead next turn. Marsh counting the number of lands in his graveyard just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, puts Chris down to 1.
Chris to 1, Marsh at 4. But I think Chris is out of outs. And that should kick the game over to Marsh. Marsh tries reanimate, not going to help here.
Not going to be there. Just reanimate.
Reanimate, just for value. Never mind. Always fun times.
Marsh sits
Marsh
and
is
reads.
like, wait a second, what?
What's going on?
What?
Chris is just trying to get a little value.
You know, just for fun. Shows he's a fun-loving guy too.
Sure.
Marsh will let everything sink in. All right, so Marsh Usary takes down the first game. Congratulations to Marsh. Before we head into game 2, let's give away 6 months of Star City Games Premium.
Full 6 months of premium.
So this is a half year. We're giving away a full year in the finals. Hey everyone, Gavin Verhey back here in the booth with Brad Nelson. We're giving away a full year in the finals, but just 6 months for now, if you can answer our question correctly. So the way this works is I'm going to ask a question, and on Twitter, put the question as a tweet, and make sure to add the hashtag SCG Premium. We'll pick one person at random from everyone who enters. That person will win 6 months of free premium. So you just have to answer the question correctly, and you could be entered in the contest. If you don't win now, you'll be able to win a year. Later tonight in the finals, you'll be able to win all over again in Nashville next week. So all kinds of good times to win premium. You're going to want premium if you're a competitive Magic player. Simple as that. So here's the question. There's one player who we've seen kill on turn 1 on camera 3 times today. He's in the top 8. What's his name? Tell us, and you could win Star City Games Premium. Make sure to tweet and add in the hashtag SCG Premium. It's very important you have that hashtag. If you don't have the hashtag, then you cannot we can't see your tweet. You know, if you just send it
Yeah,
out,
I did it wrong last round.
Yeah, if you do it like Brad Nelson and send it off into the Tweeterverse, I mean, no one's gonna get it. So
Got the hashtag wrong. Didn't win premium.
yeah, well, there you go. That was your downfall. So make sure to add in the hashtag. Tell us who the player was who killed 3 opponents, or 2 opponents in 3 games on camera on turn 1 today. That's insane.
Technically 2.5. Technically 2.5.
I'm calling that a turn 1 kill.
2.5.
We can argue about that later, but he never took a second turn.
That doesn't count.
3 turn 1 kills today. And of course, once again, you don't really want Star City Games Premium if you are going to want to be a competitive Magic player. Just all the best insights on the game, all the best new decks, even tournament reports. I imagine players from this event will be talking about the brand new Legacy decks in top 8.
I'm going to be talking a ton about Standard next week.
Yeah, see all of the decks from earlier today. Once again, if you missed earlier, Mono Red took down the Standard portion in the Mono Red mirror match in the finals. Now that's something interesting for the format. A lot of people thought Mono Red was just okay. A lot of people were like, I mean, you know, decks can beat it, or maybe Liliana, Snapcasters, where it's at. Mono Red mirror in the finals. You guys are going to have to come prepared come Nashville. It's very, very important.
That's only a week away.
Yeah, so you have a week, less than a week now.
Who's working Nashville?
I believe it is, I think it's Adrian and Joey, maybe?
Okay.
Or Joey and Mike.
Mike Flores?
I forgot it was Mike. Yeah, Joey and Mike Flores. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That's
yeah,
pretty sweet.
Mike is doing some commentary, and he's going to be coming out to Nashville to do it. So you're really going to want to tune in to check out all that commentary next week. Should be fun times. In the meantime, back to the match. The players are heading into their sideboards. What do you think is going to matter in the post-sideboard games, Brad?
I think winning's going to be really important, but okay, jokes aside. I think Marsh is going to have more ways to interact with Chris. He has a couple counter spells in his sideboard, I do believe. Don't have it in front of me. I wish I did.
Yeah, we are unfortunately missing the deck lists, but we did see Marsh Usary's deck list earlier. Also, I mean, just in the matchups in general, I mean, who do you think has the edge after sideboarding here?
I still think, like, I don't know. I mean, I still feel that Chris's deck is a little bit favored.
I definitely feel like Chris is the favorite, but I mean, Marsh has to have some good answers. I think
Like, if Chris ever drew a blue card, he won that game.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. I mean, Chris's deck is so unfair, and Marsh is playing a pretty fair deck. He's got the natural order thing, but that's so much slower than what Chris is doing.
For sure.
And, I mean, Reanimator, well, we saw that game. Turn 2 Iona. Yes, Marsh was able to beat it. Chris drew pretty poorly. The thing is, he did play turn 2 Iona, and he had the days for the Tarmogoyf to follow it up, but that was all he was able to do, basically. Yeah. He just drew a bunch of cards that weren't useful to him at all afterward. Was not able to generate any kind of advantage.
Yeah, so I have been very impressed with both of these players' play so far. This is probably one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite games of the night.
I mean,
both players like surprised me in play decisions, and that was enjoyable.
Yeah, that Exhume was really, really good. It just, I mean, I didn't even think about that because I don't know how many players would. So I was really impressed by Chris Walton's play. Once again, someone said he's 52nd in the country right now. Top 8 of this is going to be even higher afterwards. Man knows how to play some Magic.
Yeah.
A Legacy regular sounds like a Source native, so he knows what he's doing. Good times. Marsh still deep in his sideboard, figuring out exactly what he's going to take in and out. He did manage to pull away with the first game, but we'll see if he can take away with the second. How do you feel about decks like No Ban in this format? Do you like No Ban, No Rug?
I did when Mental Misstep was around, but I don't anymore. I'd much rather just play a combo deck and go for it. Like, these decks have their combo deck that's kind of slow, or their combo piece, but there's so many archetypes in this format, and there's a lot of information you need to know, and I feel like Marsh probably knows a lot about his deck to be winning these games. And I would much rather just be a combo deck and, try to, pull my 6-shooter and try to win. Like, just try to have the best combo for the day. I would definitely be playing a combo deck in this format, especially if I was going to go to a tournament now. If it was like a pro tour format, I mean, I would test like a ton, and a deck like No Ban would be on my radar to learn or to build upon. But if I was just going to play in an SCG Open without a ton of testing, I would probably just pick up a combo deck.
Yeah, I mean, think the combo decks are just so powerful.
Yeah.
So incredibly powerful. You have to learn how to play them. I mean, Ari did not just suddenly wake up one day and top 8 with Storm. He's been playing that deck forever and ever and ever, learning the ins and outs of it. But, if you can get good at a deck like Reanimator or Storm or otherwise, it can really show off in your results.
I mean, I'll definitely be testing this format for the Invitational, so I guess no ban. I keep forgetting that I have to test Legacy in the next couple months for the Invitational.
It sounds like such a drag. I have to test Legacy. Testing Legacy sounds awesome.
No, testing Standard sounds sweet. I just can't wait to activate Liliana of S over and over again.
Why don't you just do that in Legacy?
Liliana of the Veil. In Legacy?
Yeah.
Because there's Ionas that will stop me.
Well, that's what Liliana's for. -2. Sacrifice your Iona.
You'll go pro black.
Well, you just gotta, be better than that.
I always try to be better than Ionas.
I mean, Jerry Thompson piloted Liliana in his deck today. Jerry Thompson piloted Liliana in his deck today. We saw it come down, or could have absolutely turned the game around. His opponent ripped the force off the top to deal with it. But I honestly think Liliana could be the next big planeswalker on the level of Jace the Mind Sculptor. Not quite as good as Jace, and quite as ubiquitous, but just because it's not blue, and just being blue has a lot of natural advantages. You can pitch it to Force of Will. Like the decks that play blue can naturally play it. It's a little harder to play black sometimes, but I think Liliana is extraordinarily powerful, and I would not be surprised to see her become a card that's played more in Legacy.
For sure.
I mean, a lot of people are playing strategies that center around one creature. They're playing strategies where you want to protect your Nether Reliquary or something like that, or you just have a single Tarbo Whip that you beat down with, and Liliana deals with that and then rips apart like the combo deck's hands.
And there's also not Inkmoth Nexuses and random burn spells like targeting Liliana like they do in Standard.
Sure.
A lot of decks that Liliana would be good against, decks don't have answers for. You take the Tarmogoyf away, they might have another creature in hand, maybe. It is pretty sweet.
Yeah, Liliana's pretty sweet. I mean, the other big card, Snapcaster Mage, I mean, that card is just insane. AJ Soccer, so we've been talking all day in the booth about what do we think is better, Snapcaster Mage or Dark Confidant. It's been an ongoing debate. On Twitter, people are really split on this. It's about 50-50. I talked to some of the players out there. Players are pretty split on this.
What AJ say?
I talked to AJ. He's like, I played with Snapcaster Mage in my deck over Dark Confidant. I think Snapcaster Mage is better than Dark Confidant.
Right now, not over time. In the history, Dark Confidant was great. But yeah, so we got a match back.
All right, so here we go. Chris Walton's going to be on the play. And thinking about his hand. got kind of an evil grin on his face. He's kind of in evil genius mode. Looks like he's going to keep, and Marsh is going to keep as well. So Marsh starts with Leyline of the Void on the battlefield.
Interesting.
Now that'll slow down Chris a little bit.
Does Chris have anything for that? Do we have his deck list?
We do not have his deck list.
Oh no! Does he have an out? He has to probably has an out because he knows his opponent had Leyline.
I mean, I'd imagine Chain of Vapors in Chris's sideboard. I'm sure he brought it in. Did they get deck list?
Oh wow, that is a crazy keep. Caracas, Forest, a bunch of blue cards. I like it. I like the keep. I mean, it might not go somewhere for a while, but it's so many, hate cards against Reanimator.
You have the Leyline, and you even have the Caracas for legendary creatures, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So looks like Chris takes the Force off the Thoughtseize, and the Thoughtseize gets exiled. Not that it matters, but that Leyline is going to really slow down Chris Walton.
All right, Forest go.
And Chris draws Reanimate, but first he's got to find an answer to that Leyline. There's Polluted Delta.
Just says go.
Just passes.
Doesn't really want any of the cards that's in Marsh's hands right now, so he's going to hold that Thoughtseize for a while. And it's going to hurt him if Marsh top decks a blue source and just has it in play for a while, and right there is an island. So now Marsh is going to be able to protect his hand and respond to the next hand disruption spell. That took me 2 rounds when I played my first Legacy tournament, or my Legacy GP at Columbus. I would keep Thoughtseize in my opponents that kept brainstorming, and I'm like, something's wrong here. I'm doing something wrong. And it took me 3 rounds. I did that against Adam Yurchek round 4, and he just destroyed me every time, and then I started saying go, and then Thoughtseizing in turn 2.
Okay, there's Echoing Truth.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Echoing Truth on the Leyline. We'll pick that guy back up. And Marsh did draw the island, so he can brainstorm and try and find a force or something.
Or a daze.
Or a daze. All right, yeah, Marsh is going to do just that. Brainstorm
Yep.
time.
Tries to find Force or Daze. Does not want the Leyline back in his hand. He can't cast it, and he wants it in play.
All right, and put 2 cards down, potentially putting 1 back on top. All right, yeah, just moves both of them back on top. See if Marsh found Daze or something like that to use. All right, no, just gets repealed.
A good buddy of mine from Fargo just texted me and told me that Chris does have Show and Tell in his sideboard. Do you think he brought that in?
It's something he could bring in, but he might not need it here. Chris goes for Entomb. I think he's ready to just get something huge on the battlefield.
Get something on the battlefield right now.
All right, so what do you think is going to get? Iona, Inkwell
Iona,
Leviathan? Like, does he have an answer
I
for
guess
Inkwell Leviathan?
Inkwell Leviathan probably is the best card. Yeah, there's Inkwell Leviathan. I think it is.
It looks
like
black. It looks either black or an artifact, one of the two. It's hard to tell.
Or a blue artifact.
Yeah, or I mean blue artifact. The artifact border is. Alright, reheat. Chris Cat's reanimate on it. See if Marsh does anything. Otherwise, whatever it is coming onto the battlefield.
Yeah,
that's Inkwell Leviathan. 7-11 Island Walk Trample.
It's a scary one.
So, how does a Bant deck deal with that?
Goes for the sideboard. Reaches for the sideboard, beats it game 3.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he knew that was coming, right? So maybe he boarded in cards to fight the Inkwell Leviathan. I don't know.
I don't
know
think
what's
there
in
is
Marsh's
any
sideboard.
fight it. You can't give it protection from artifact and then it'll die, right?
You can't target. It's got Shroud.
I know.
But however, Crystal's Life didn't go to 8, so you can race it.
Yeah, if you play Tarmogoyf.
I mean, it costs him life to reanimate that guy. Reanimation ain't free these days, It's
yeah, if he can play a creature right now, yeah, he can race it.
I mean, considering inflation, that's a lot of life.
It is funny how these he reanimates and he's so low that he can be raced.
All right. So let's see if Marsh has a creature there. Nope.
All
We'll
right,
go for another
he's gonna
brainstorm.
shuffle after brainstorming.
And then maybe he'll have a Tarmogoyf or something.
Yeah, just some type of pressure. Or maybe set up natural order if he still has it in his deck.
Yeah, I mean, potentially have natural order. That'll certainly kill Chris in 1 hit.
All right, there's a Noble Hierarch.
All right, Hierarch comes down. And that could, very innocuous now, that could set up a natural order if Marsh still has them. I think Marsh might have sideboarded them out, but maybe he just wants a way to close the game quickly that Chris can't deal with. I don't know if I would keep 4 in my deck, but keeping some of them might be reasonable. All right, so Chris serves in with that Inkwell Leviathan. We'll drop Marsh down to 12 life.
2 more hits and we're going to game 3. Thoughtseize from Chris is probably going to lock this one up.
All right, there's Thoughtseize from Chris Walton. See what's in Marsh's
We
hand.
did get a fresh brainstorm, so he might have a Force of Will now.
Yeah, or he might have left the card he wants on top.
Yeah.
So,
Or he's hoping he did.
let's see.
So what just
looks
happened?
like Force of Will and Exhume are the 2 cards in Chris Walton's hand.
Why do we know this information?
Because we just looked. Oh, he thought he's himself?
Oh, he thought he's himself or something?
He thought he's himself discarding Angel of Despair.
Oh, okay, all right.
But, I mean, is that going to matter? Is he going to have time to take advantage of that? I don't know if he is. I mean, if Marsh goes for Progenitus here, that Angel of Despair isn't going to do very much. Okay, well, Marsh plays Jace. Jace doesn't help beat the Shroud Inkwell Leviathan.
No.
And Marsh can go for a Brainstorm, but Marsh will get 2 Brainstorms out of that Jace. But
Yeah, I don't think Marsh he doesn't have enough time for an out right now.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I don't have the deck lists in front of me. I'd love to see them, but Legacy deck lists aren't up yet online. They will be up later tonight, though. Don't you worry. All right, Chris draws. and attacks with Inkle Leviathan, dropping Marsh down to 5.
Points at you. I don't care about your stinking Jace.
Yeah, I don't need no planeswalkers.
Each player gets to return a creature, yet Chris is the only one with one, so Angel's Bear is going to come into play. Knock down that Jace.
Except for Days happens.
Not anymore.
Weird how the Reanimator deck is so often alone with the creature in their graveyard. Strange how that happens, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So unfair.
Almost like the plan for that. Alright, Marsh draws his card. Well, if there's no answer forthcoming, I see a concession. Draws 3 cards off the Jace. Marsh is looking over the board, looking back at his hand. It's
Just
like
make sure everything.
it's like an Old Spice commercial over here, you know. Looks at his hand, looks back to the board, looks back to his hand, back to the board, picks up his cards, and
goes to the game 3.
yeah, and his cards are now diamonds. And all right, so Chris is gonna go take a quick bathroom break. Looks like, or ask the judge a question, one of the two, but I'm guessing a bathroom break. And we'll be heading into a really tight game 3. I mean, Chris did have the Echoing Truth that game, which was what mattered. But we'll see how it plays out in game number 3. Hey, everyone, back in the booth. While there's a quick break. Gavin Verhey joined by Brad Nelson. One game left in this match, and then we'll head over to the finals. I'm guessing that the other match will be done, so probably gonna head to the finals.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, get everything set up, and we'll be going on to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, can you believe almost over? We had the standard matches already. Now we're going to the legacy matches.
This is my last commentation or commentating for this year.
I know. I mean, it's so strange.
It's been fun. I love it.
I mean, the year's almost over. I remember doing San Jose at the start of the year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, still a couple more opens left. Once again, Nashville next week with Mike Flores, commentated by Mike Flores and Joey Pasco. That is going to be a combination to not be missed.
We have what's between that and Las Vegas?
Is there an open between that and
Yeah.
Las Vegas? Let's see. There's here
Nashville and Las
and
Vegas.
then Nashville and then Kansas City, I think.
Baltimore.
Or Baltimore. Oh, Baltimore, Kansas
there
City.
are so many of these things.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of them.
This week, Nashville, States, Baltimore, Kansas City, Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Or no, wait. I think it's St. Louis, not Kansas City.
No, St. Louis on December 3rd.
Oh no, not St. Louis. All right. So
There's
yeah.
a lot more tournaments to be played.
There's a lot more opens, and of course, all these up to Invitational in Charlotte at the end of the year. You want to be qualified for this Invitational. It's huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Gives away tons of money in cash prizes. I mean, it's one of the most prestigious tournaments, really. I mean, it's more prestigious than a Grand Prix, I would say. I mean, Pro Tour, all right. I mean, Pro Tour, Worlds, all right. It's pinnacle of Magic. But right underneath that, we have this Invitational Series. Gives away tons of money, more money than a Grand Prix, more competitive than a Grand Prix. You have to
Multi-format.
Multi-formats, you got to put in a lot of work. There's no other tournament where it's standard legacy back to back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful time.
And if you want to play in this tournament, you have a couple ways to do it. First, you come out to some of these opens. We just listed some of the last ones of the year. You come out to some of those. You do well enough, you could qualify. That's a big one.
Yeah. But we have a game to play, and maybe Marsh is thinking, hey, I'm going to get enough points. I'm going to qualify myself right now.
Yeah, that'd be a good time for Marsh. Although I think he might already be qualified. Of course, you could
Well,
also.
Chris then wants it. Maybe they're both qualified.
I think they're already qualified. I mean, they're both in the top 8, so they're good.
Oh, top 8 locks you?
I think it's. Pretty sure it's top. I'm pretty sure once they're in top 4, they're locked. Like they'll be playing the Invitational. Of course, other ways you could qualify is you could play in a local store, Invitational qualifier, which you can find at starcitygames.com/IQ.
Super IQs.
You could play an IQ or a Super IQ. Super IQs give away $1,000 in cash prizes and 2 slots at the Invitational.
Yeah.
So even
win
more,
some cash, get a qualification, use that for the plane ticket, go win more money.
it's like an old school PTQ.
Use that to go to a pro tour, win more money.
Yeah, exactly. All kinds of great ways to qualify. So you can either come to one of these open weekends. You can do a Super Invitational qualifier, an Invitational qualifier. You just rack it up enough points by coming to these open weekends too. I mean, you don't always have to top 8. You just play enough opens and pick up some points, and before you know it, you'll be hitting the thresholds to hit the levels and ratchet your way up through the system. It's only going to get better next year. So many tournaments next year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just one every weekend. There's not a pre-release.
Every single weekend that is not Christmas, a pre-release, or probably just Christmas, there's going to be a Magic tournament.
Maybe Thanksgiving, if that's
maybe
a weekend.
Thanksgiving.
I mean, we don't know all the details, but the important part is, I mean, between the Grand Prix schedule and the Star City Game schedule, you'll be able to play so much Magic, you'll have no idea what's
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Let's just say there's going to be a lot of cars with a lot of miles on them
A
next
lot of
year.
cars with a lot of miles, a lot of airplanes with a lot of miles, and a lot of planeswalker points accrued. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, top 8 does get locked for this, so these players are qualified for the Invitational.
Yeah. Top 8 is locked. You make top 8, you're good. And yeah, I know these guys are both in, but of course you're still fighting for those points because those points level them up in the system.
Yep.
You want to get those points. We've seen players like, for example, Jerry Thompson rise up through the system. He got handed a full set of Innistrad this weekend.
Jealous.
Just 4x of every card.
Yeah.
As well as, many of the other
He's
level
like,
8s.
I need some cards for my deck today. And they're like, well, good, because we're giving you every single card. He's like, great.
Really good stuff. So heading to Game 3, Marsh is going to be on the play. Do you think how much of an advantage do you think that gives him?
Being on the play, a big advantage. He gets a turn faster to get to his Jaces. He gets to utilize his Dazes, which is a big one. Being on the play seems insane for this matchup. I think that's one thing that, Marsh has not been on the play yet. I still feel he got a little bit lucky to win Game 1, but hey, that's magic. Game 2 seemed pretty appropriate, how it played down, and now with Marsh on the play, I think the advantage does go to him.
So, see what happens. Well, looks like Marsh is going to crack a land. I don't think he had Leyland this game. We'll see the board here in a second. But, yeah, no Leyland this time. So, Marsh is going Leylandless. And that's one thing I hate about that card. It is good in these matchups, but, man, if you ever draw one later on, it just sucks.
The great thing about Legacy is, right, you have Brainstorm.
Yeah, you do Brainstorm.
You have Jace that effectively just brainstorms.
Once I watched a player, I never played a Leyland before, drew his opening hand, played his land, and then, looked down, was like, oh, no, I didn't put my Leyland into play. He just had this Leyland sitting in his hand. That just sucks.
Whenever I play Magic Online, and one of the big things is with, the Chancellors, and I guess Leyline, is when you, would you like to play first? You're like, yes. And then your opponent, decides to keep, and it says your opponent keeps, and then it says waiting for your opponent, and I'm like, what is going on?
Because they have
a Leyline, and I'm like,
a pregame effect.
Do I have to exit? Is Moto bugging? And I think for a second, then I see a Leyline or a Chancellor, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so looks like Chris discards on the first turn. Now, that's normally a dread strategy, but he just wants to do some reanimation.
Yeah,
so he discards on the first turn. I think that's Inkwell Leviathan, even.
And there's a Knight.
Well, Marsh has turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary.
This is going to be a tough one for Chris, right? If he doesn't have Force of Will and Marsh has a Daze, it's a tough game to win.
All right, so Chris is going to crack a fetch land. Let's see what he's got going on here. Shuffles it up, puts down a swamp. And maybe Reanimate is coming out of it?
I think Reanimate's going to hit. How much does it cost? 9 mana? 7 mana? I don't remember what Inkwell costs.
Inkwell costs 9.
9? That would put him in the 10.
Oh, okay. Thoughtseize. You're going to Thoughtseize Marsh first. Pretty sure it costs 9. 7 UU? Sounds about right.
Watanabe?
No, Hakusha.
Sumimasen?
Ka? Alright. So, let's see. Down comes Daze from Marsh. So he does use the Daze to counter that Thoughtseize. And then going to pass back to Marsh. Turn 2 Knight is very good for Marsh.
Oh, it's so good.
It's going to create a huge creature. He can go find Caracas if that becomes necessary.
If he has a land and a Jace, he gets to play it. It just actually becomes an acceleration spell right now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He can just play a land, tap all 3, probably get a Caracas off of it if he wants to. Or another green land if he doesn't have any more. Going to crack that Windswept Heath.
All right, I feel there might be a Jace coming.
If you play Jace, you just brainstorm with it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Caracas. Oh, no, there's Savannah. Can't be Caracas yet.
Windswept Heath, find Caracas.
Seems good. First time I ever got a Caracas was so sweet. My opponent show and tells. I don't really know what the deck is, but I assume it's going to be Emrakul or Protogenesis, which I was right. And I get to go Knight and Caracas, and it felt so good. It's like one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh, Caracas is pretty incredible. All right.
Well, it's just a basic plains? No, it's Savannah.
It's Savannah, so...
It's going to sack, go get Caracas.
Did Marsh just shuffle and cut? I think he just did a short one, right? Because he was just gonna cut.
I think Marsh seems very technical.
Yeah, he's very technical. I always feel like if you can shortcut something like this, it's never really a big deal as long as you ask, hey, I'm gonna use knight too. Do you mind if I shortcut? Just because it saves time. Granted, they're not timed.
And depends how crisp you like to play.
Plus, Marsh, like you said, is playing very deliberate, very
Yeah.
technically sound.
I mean, I think it's better for Marsh to be this way than to be a little bit on the sloppy end.
I agree. Yeah, rather play tight all the time. Looks like there's a split sleeve in there somewhere. Oh, no, maybe not.
Just how he was shuffling. Something maybe got snagged.
Yes. Indeed. All right. So, tap 4. Yeah, here it comes. Oh, wait. Natural order. All right. Marsh says, race a turned 3 progenitus.
Wow.
What are you going to do about that? Turn 3 progenitus. Probably not the turn that that card was expected to come out on.
No.
Oh, dear. Yeah, there's progenitus. And, man, knight and progenitus out? I don't know what Chris Walton plans to do here. I don't think there's much he can do.
Yeah, that has to sign the end, right? Like, how can he beat a progenitus?
I mean, I don't know what's in Chris Walton's sideboard. If he has Diabolic Edict that could work potentially, but you have to get rid of that knight first. All right, play the reanimate.
Good game. He's just scooping. And there's Marsh playing very technical.
What's he reanimating?
Noble Hire? Oh, he's giving him Noble Hire?
Okay, reanimates Noble Hierarch.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, so Chris gets Noble Hierarch. And passes back to Marsh.
Interesting.
Not sure what Chris is getting at there.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's the only thing he can reanimate without dying. I mean, that's certainly true. So I understand why he would do that. I don't know what's in his deck, but certainly problematic. Marsh is gonna play his land, and then I guess you just attack with both, right?
Yeah, I would.
Swing with the team. Count
I
up
mean,
some
it's
knight.
like a 6/6 or at least a 5/5.
1, 2, 3.
I think it's a 6/6.
Yeah, it's either a 5/5 or a 6/6. There was a land at the back I couldn't quite make it, or if there was land at the back I couldn't quite make it out. Tap. Noble Hierarch, okay.
I guess he's going to keep the knight back.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Probably just attack for 11 if you want. Although the extra damage is irrelevant, so why would you keep the knight back? Just serve with the knight. And if Chris has some devious plan with that Noble Hierarch, he's not going to jump with it. And man, yeah, if you're Chris Walton, it's like, well, this sucks. I got turn 2 knight, turn 3 progenitor.
Yeah, with a daze.
Well, with the days, yeah.
Turn 2 knight counterspell.
What am I supposed to do about that? This isn't what was supposed to happen.
No, I'm supposed to have the big creature.
Yeah, I was supposed to have the guy on turn 3, All right, so Chris gets Underground Sea. And of course, this is, I suppose, one of the weaknesses to this deck over something like Storm, in that you can't just combo kill your opponent.
No.
That's not an option. You do have to do it the old-fashioned way. And by old-fashioned way, it's Inkwalk, Nexus, Iona, but you can't just be like, ritual, no matter what life total I'm at. Although Ad Nauseam, I guess, does need its own life total. Alright, attacks, taps 3, plays Wipe Away, returning with that Noble Hierarch to Marsh's hand, and that's that.
All right.
And there's the hand.
Usary takes it over.
Wow, there we go. Marsh heads into the finals with his no bant deck. Mental Mist up gone, no bant, still heading into the finals. Do we have a report from the other table?